I hope you all are doing good. It's Sunday afternoon and post-lunch session. So I hope you all are ready to learn and understand some new topic in Sale of Goods Act. So in the last session, we had completed Unit 1, which talked about how this sales contract is formed. So we understood the basic essential elements of forming a contract of sale. So we need two parties, at least two parties, that is buyer and seller. We need to have goods, that is the subject matter on the basis of which the whole contract of sale is designed. So what are goods? What are various types of goods, specific goods, future goods? We have discussed this all in the previous session. Besides that, we have talked about the ascertainment of price, how the price is determined, and we have discussed about some differences between sale and agreement to sell. So that was all there in the first unit. What is there for today's session? So today we will be discussing Unit 2. So Unit 2 talks about condition and warranty. What are these conditions and warranties and how it is relevant for us to understand? Just assume that you have recently purchased something. So you are a buyer. Now, what are the rights available for a buyer in the Sale of Goods Act? That is what we will be discussing today. So maybe in the previous session, if you remember, we took some examples, and one of the example was we purchased a laptop. So suppose we have brought that laptop, and after 2-3 days of usage, we come across a situation that it is not working at all. So whether we can go back to the shopkeeper and tell him that this is not working, can we get some money back, or we can get it, replaced altogether? Or is it the other way that the seller can say that no, once it has already been purchased by you, now I'm not responsible at all. So how does everything go? And what is written in the law? That is what we are here to understand. So Unit 2 basically talks about the rights of buyer, and we will understand various things in this. So first of all, what is the difference between condition and warranty? Basically, normally in layman term, we use the term guarantee and warranty. However, you will find that in the Complete Sale of Goods Act, we do not have any term called guarantee. So here, the term which we use is condition and warranty. And what is the basic difference between the two? We will study that when we will start with the presentation. So suppose we do not discuss anything with the shopkeeper. We do not, at the time of purchase, we just simply take away the goods, and we do not talk anything about the damages happening afterwards, or any thing which is not discussed during that meeting. Can we still take that up later? Can we return the goods later on? So if anything is not expressly discussed, can it be done later or not? It depends how the contract is designed or how the law is designed for that purpose. So there are some express conditions and warranties. There are some implied conditions and warranties. Express means this will be discussed during the time of the contract itself between the buyer and the seller. And if they have not discussed it expressly, there are some implied condition. Wherever the term implied is used, you already know that implied means by conduct or behavior, and here it means implied by law. So if nothing is discussed, still there are some rights which are available to the buyer. So I again welcome all the students to this new session altogether, wherein we will study the rights of buyer in the form of these conditions and warranties. And then again, we will study one more new concept, that is caveat emptor. So caveat emptor basically says that let the buyer beware. So it will be a complete contrast. On one hand, we are saying that buyer has some rights. On the other hand, we are saying that buyer has to be himself careful. He cannot blame everything on the seller. So that is why that is the whole thing we will be discussing in this topic today. Akshat is asking something, so I will open the session at the end, and then you can ask your doubt, Akshat. If it is related to the last unit also, you can ask that. Okay, so I'll start with today's unit. Just give me a moment. I'll just start with the presentation. Just let me know if it is visible to you all. Is it visible? Can you just write it in the chat box, please? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Akshit. Thank you, Pragati, Akshit, sorry, and Akshita. We have Akshit and Akshita both. Okay, nice. Hi, Jyoti. Pallavi. Okay, okay. It's good to have you all, and let us just start the session. So today we are discussing Unit 2 in this Sales of Good Act topic, right? So conditions and warranties, what all we will be discussing and from which section we will be studying. So till Unit 1, we have studied up till section 10. If you all remember, we have studied till section 10. Section 9 was related to the price, and then section 10 talked about the valuation by third party. So after that, whatever sections are there, they will, form part of the next topics, obviously. So for this conditions and warranties topic, we will start with section 11 and it will go till section 17, right? So from 11 to 17, broadly, we will discuss in this unit. Okay, so what is that? Just don't worry about the sections. You will learn it as the session goes, and just do not bother about learning the session. If still anyone has any doubt in learning that, we will discuss that part as well. However, for the foundation purpose, it is not very much required to code the section. But if you are very, if you are very much able to understand and finally write the sections, then it is very, very good for all of you, because that is a practice which is actually required when you go to your intermediate or final level. Because in all those examinations, you have to write the sections, and that is very much mandatory if you want to score very, very good marks. So obviously, chalo, let us start with the session. So what all topics we will be taking up? The first topic is stipulation as to time. What do you mean by stipulation? What is meant by time and all? We will discuss step by step. So let us just concentrate what all the topics are there. So stipulation as to time, that is one topic, one slide, that is it. And it is contained in section 11. So section 11 talks about stipulation as to time. So is there any condition with respect to time? So stipulation, if you just want to write it down for yourself, stipulation is an English term which basically says, or it means condition. So what is the condition with respect to time? Now, with respect to time, we mean here, while we are entering into a contract of sale, is there any condition related to time? Related to time means whether seller is bound to deliver the goods in time, or whether the buyer is supposed to pay in a particular time, or it can be unlimited. How is it? So is there any condition with respect to time? Can there be any condition with respect to time? Yes, of course, there is condition. How many of you have ordered pizza from Domino's? Let me know in the chat box. How many you have ordered pizza from Domino's? Is there something unique while you order it from there? Earlier, there used to be some ads with respect to Domino's pizza. You will get the delivery in how much time? They have advertised in that way. Tanu has ordered. So in how long do they take? Nowadays, it takes much shorter time, but the ad which was there, they specifically highlighted that within 30 minutes, you will get the delivery. And if you do not get the delivery within 30 minutes, you will get the pizza for free. So that is what they highlighted during their advertisements, right? So that is the case. So time is sometimes the essence of the contract. Time is very, very important for the contract. So if I do not get my thing within the time, I will finally, cancel the contract. I have the right to even cancel my order. So we will talk about this in detail also when I will take up this topic. Okay, Pallavi has also ordered and she has received in 10 or 20 minutes. Nice. Okay. So the second topic is introduction to condition and warranty. What do you mean by condition? What do you mean by warranties? That will be the second topic. Then we will discuss more into detail what is condition, what is warranty, and what are the various types of conditions and warranty. Then what is the difference between conditions and warranties? Can there be any situation where condition is treated as warranty? So even if you are saying that it is a condition, can it be treated as warranty? So just remember, these are the key words which you will see again and again in this unit. And wherever there is a term which is used again and again, obviously it is defined somewhere. So where this condition and warranty term is defined, we will find this in section 12. So section 12 talks about condition and warranty. Both of these things are mentioned in section 12. So we will discuss in detail about what is the definition of condition, what is warranty, and what are the circumstances in which a condition can be treated as a warranty. For the time being, just understand that condition has a very, it is at a higher level and warranty is at a lower level, in the sense that what is more important, condition is more important and warranty is of lesser importance with respect to the contract. So if condition is not fulfilled, you have the right to even return the goods. But suppose if warranty is not fulfilled, you will just get some damages. You can just claim some damages. So that is basic difference between the two. But I will take that up all in detail along with the examples to make you all understand in the coming slides, right? So next is the topic express and implied conditions. So sometimes we discuss with the shopkeeper or with the seller that we need a particular goods in this format, or we need this to be packed in this way, or it is to be delivered in this time, and what all things you can imagine, I mean. So sometimes we discuss things in detail, that is known as express conditions, express warranties, when you have either mentioned it orally or you have written it somewhere, or in the agreement, in the sale agreement itself, it is mentioned. So that is express. Implied is basically implied by law. So even if you have not discussed, even if the buyer and seller have not discussed the terms of the contract, it will still prevail. So you still have the right, even if you have not discussed it on the spot. Next, we will have this in detail. So implied conditions, there are various implied conditions, and similarly we have various implied warranties. Next is caveat emptor and its exception. So these will be discussed in detail. Again, if I talk about the sections, section 11 is with respect to the time. What is the condition with respect to the time? Section 12, we will understand the meaning or the definition of condition and warranty in section 12. Then section 13 talks about the situation when one thing can be converted into the other, or that means condition can be converted into warranty. But for the time being, you all must understand that higher level thing can be converted into a lower level. The lower level cannot be converted into higher level. So therefore, we are saying that condition, which is at a higher level, can be converted into warranty. However, warranty cannot be converted into condition. Okay, so but what does that mean? How is that done? We will discuss all that in coming slides. Next is the implied terms, section 14 to 17. We will understand various implied conditions. So different sections are there for different implied conditions. How many implied conditions you will read? Around 7 implied conditions are there, and around 4 implied warranties are there. This is what we have to discuss. What about express? Express cannot be, told to you in advance. It depends on case to case. It depends on the nature of buyer and seller, about the goods, and also it is not defined anywhere how many express conditions can be there. You can have n number of express conditions as you want, or n number of express warranties as you want. But implied conditions and implied warranties are limited, and that is directly mentioned in the Act, and that is what we have to understand. Okay. So are we all ready to understand the things in detail? Just quickly write yes or no. Warranty and guarantee are different. Obviously, again and again, I'm saying that guarantee term is not used at all in the Sale of Goods Act. So everyone is ready. Jyoti, Pallavi, Ridwik, who all are there? Vishnu, Pragati. Okay, fine. Akshit is also ready. Okay, so let us quickly start the session. First of all, let us talk about section 11. So firstly, tell me, do you think time is important? The CA course tells you that time is very, very important. You cannot even waste a single minute. Okay. So time is very important. And if we are discussing about the contract of sale, in the same way, time is important. Now here we have to understand time basically refers to any kind of condition with respect to time. Assume that, I'll just take the name of one or two students. I'll make them, the seller and buyer so that we can easily understand. So we have Mukesh and we have Ridwik. So suppose Mukesh is seller. So Mukesh is selling the goods and Ridwik is buying the goods. So can Mukesh say, because Mukesh is seller, he's saying that I'll sell you the goods, but I don't know when I will be selling, or maybe the time I'm not specifying, but you will receive the goods sometime. Can Ridwik make the payment in that condition? Because something has to be, defined. Within what time you will deliver me the goods? Within what time Ridwik is supposed to make the payment? So being the seller, Mukesh can fix some, target, or maybe Ridwik can fix some condition with respect to time. So Ridwik can say that, Mukesh, since you are the seller, you have to deliver the goods to me within 1 week of time. If you want the payment, please deliver the goods to me within 1 week of time. And at the same time, maybe Mukesh can say you have to pay me some advance money right now if you want the delivery in time. So with respect to time, with respect to this time, we can have different conditions in both the cases. That is with respect to delivery of the goods, at what time the goods shall be delivered, and at what time the payment shall be made. So time is referred to both the things. I'm just writing it for you so that we remember it. So with respect to time, we are talking about at what time delivery shall take place and at what time price shall be paid. So for these two things, if you are referring any condition or you are mentioning anything in the contract, or whenever you are discussing with the buyer and seller, then in that case, this will be referred to as stipulation as to time. So what is there mentioned in this section 11? Let us just understand this. So section 11 says, in contract of sale, time of payment of price is generally not of the essence. Essence means importance. You can just note it for yourself. Essence means importance. So when payment is made, at what time payment is made, that is not important in contract of sale. Like in last unit also, I had again and again told you that it does not matter when a person is paying. So the ownership will be transferred then and there if it is a case of sale. In case of agreement to sell, it will be transferred at a future date. But the payment of price is never a basic thing for the contract to happen. That is what is mentioned in section 11. So directly it is mentioned here that in contract of sale means both sale and agreement to sell. So wherever this term is used in contract of sale, it means both sale and agreement to sell. In both these cases, if there is any condition with respect to time of payment of price, when the price shall be paid, whether it will be paid today or it will be paid after, a month, whatever it is, it will not affect anything, or it will not affect anything in the contract. So why it is that like that? Because it is not the main thing in the contract. It is not the essential element in the contract. So that is what it is given here. So if you all remember the contract of sale, section 4, we talked about contract of sale. So there also the essential elements were mentioned, that there has to be two parties for entering into a contract. Goods have to be there. The property in goods have to be delivered from one person to another person. So delivery is important, but there was no mention about the price. So since price was not mentioned there, therefore again we can say that time of payment is generally not the essence or the basis of the contract, or it is not of that importance in the contract, right? So this is so useless, a different intention. Since unless a different intention appears from the contract. So suppose nothing is mentioned, then in that case, this section 11 will appear, or this will prevail. But if you specifically say that, amount, if you are a seller and you are specifically saying that until and unless I receive the complete payment, I will not make the delivery. In that case, this payment will become the essence of the contract. So in section 11 itself, it is said that normally in general circumstances, price is not the essence of the contract, but it can change if different intention appears from the contract. if the intention of the parties is like the payment is important, in that case, payment shall also be forming important part of the contract. Is this point clear? Just let me know in the chat box if this point is clear. Okay. Tanu is saying yes, and Ushri is also saying, Jyoti is saying yes. Okay, fine. So this is just a small thing which you have to understand, that terms and conditions, they can be changed by buyer and seller by expressing them at the time of making the contract. What about the delivery of goods? Delivery of goods, however, must be made without any delay. Whatever time has been specified for the delivery of goods, they have to be delivered that way. Just let me give you one example. Okay, let me take the example of Tanu now. So Tanu is having her birthday tomorrow. Okay, so Tanu is having her birthday, and she's ordering a gift for a cake for herself because she wants a special cake designed in whatever manner she wants, and a particular kind of flavor also. So Tanu wants that, she wants to have a particular variety, a particular designer cake for herself, and she's ordering for herself, and she will again take the money from her parents later on. But for the time being, she has gone to one of the bakery shops, she has given the design, and she has ordered that I want this delivery by tomorrow morning. That is very, very important. Or by tomorrow afternoon also. So morning or afternoon, that is fine, but not beyond that. Because I have called my friends in the afternoon, and by that time I need the cake. So the time is important, the delivery time is important, the cake has to be delivered either in the morning or maybe till afternoon also, she's fine with it. But suppose the bakery delivers the cake in night or maybe a day after, then whether Tanu is bound to accept that cake? Tanu, whether you are bound to accept that cake? Of course not. Why you should not accept the cake, or why you should accept the cake? Akshita is saying no, Tanu is saying no. Obviously, because when it was required during the party. After the party is over, after the birthday celebration is over, now there is no need of cake. Though you still may have it if you want, but it is not mandatory for you to have the cake, right? So that is why it is mentioned here that it is very important to have the cake, because yes, there is no requirement that way. So that is what it is mentioned here. Just a second. There is some network issue maybe, so I will just, okay, so is my screen visible? Just a second, I'm just sharing it again. So that is what we were talking about, that essence of the contract, what is important for the contract. Is my screen available now, visible now? Something has happened, just a second. So basically we were discussing that Tanu is not required to make the payment if the delivery has happened later on, whenever we have discussed. So 1 minute, अभी share ही नहीं हुआ है, share नहीं हो रहा है यहाँ से. Let me know if it is visible now. I think it should be visible now. I'm just making it full screen. Just a second. I hope it is visible. Sorry for the disturbance. Yeah. So again, what we were saying, time is very important. Not a single second should be wasted. So again, okay. So delivery of goods, however, must be made without any delay. And if delivery is not made within that time, you can have the right, you have the right to cancel the contract and not to make the payment. That is what is mentioned here. Stipulation as to time of delivery are usually the essence of the contract. Whether a time stipulation is essential depends on the terms of the contract. So whether time is important or not, it depends. So sometimes it happens that when you are ordering online, it shows that the goods will be delivered in say 5 days. Suppose it does not come on the 5th day and it comes on 6th day, then what? Whether you will accept the delivery or you will refuse the delivery. Suppose it comes on 6th day, whether you will accept the delivery or refuse the delivery. Is that tricky? So if the goods are of your choice, it's up to you. So that is what it is mentioned here. It depends on the terms of the contract. Suppose it hardly matters whether it comes within that time span or not. Even if it comes after a day also, I am ready to take that. So if you are ready to take that, then it is okay. You cannot claim any damages. And if you want, you can cancel the contract saying that it should have been delivered within the time limit. Since it is not delivered within the time, it is now no use to me. So that is what it is saying. So Tanu is saying, I'm bound to receive, but afterwards I'll return. So if you have received, there's no need to return or exchange. That is something different. So normally what we do online during online shopping is we receive the goods, and suppose it does not, you have ordered a topper or something or pant or something. If you try that and you think that it is not fitting you, you can obviously return it, because the measurements or the specifications you gave, it is not matching according to you. But if everything is okay, then you are bound to have it. You cannot return it just by saying that, because you have to mention the reason why you are returning. So it should be acceptable reason normally. So that there are some cases, practically if we talk about, there are some cases where generally the sellers, they accept the return. They do not ask anything. They just return because they want to have the customer relationship. So that is why it may happen. But here in the Contract Act specifically, they have mentioned that it can be these terms can be discussed between buyer and seller whenever they want, and it depends case to case. Then this payment of price is important, or whether delivery of goods. Generally, the delivery of goods is important, but it may again depend on the intention of the parties. Next, so time for payment and delivery, or time for payment and time for delivery, are not treated identically. That means the treatment of both are different. So time for payment is generally essential or not essential. Time for payment is generally not essential for the contract, but time for delivery is essential for the contract. So in general circumstances, it is very, very important to deliver on time. Next, merely writing a date in a contract does not automatically mean time is of the essence. Next important point is the contract must include clear, explicit language stating that timing is a material term. So if you are actually making a contract and you want the other party to understand that it is very important for me to deliver on time, or I should have the delivery on time, then in that case, it should be expressly mentioned. So that is given here. So there is some example. Let us read this example first. So you order a laptop with next day delivery guaranteed. So that was specifically mentioned while ordering the terms from the seller, that we will 100% deliver it to you the very next day. And the amount they are charging for this is 50,000. The laptop arrives after 3 days. Okay, so it was delivered late. So can you reject the goods and claim refund? So the answer is, according to the law which we have understood, according to section 11, of course, the answer is yes. Since the next day delivery was guaranteed, time is of the essence. You can reject the goods and claim the refund for breach of the condition. Again, what we have to understand is, can the parties make time of payment essential by an express agreement? Express means by, oral or writing, any kind of agreement. If you can have that payment terms also important in your contract of sale. So the answer is yes. The phrase unless a different intention appears from the terms of the contract directly means that parties can agree to make time of payment as essential. Is this section 11 clear to all of you, so that we can move on to the next section or the next topic? Is this topic clear? So I have to check, because it's a post-lunch session, obviously, so we have to be alert. Okay, great. Great. So I'm just moving on the next topic. So again and again in this particular unit, you will see what this term, that is stipulation. So what is meant by stipulation? So stipulation simply means condition. But again, we will see one more term here, that is condition and warranty. So stipulation generally it means condition, but again, condition will be defined in a different way here in this Sale of Goods Act. Okay, so stipulation is a representation of or forming part of the contract of sale. It affects the rights and obligation of the parties. A stipulation relating to goods may be a condition or a warranty. So wherever this term stipulation you are finding, it says that stipulation can be of two types. Either it can be a condition or it can be a warranty. So it defines something, or it is you have to pay special attention wherever this stipulation term will be there, or instead of stipulation you will find condition or warranty. That is what is meant here. Why this is important? Because it affects the rights and obligation means duties of the parties. So what is the right of buyer, what is the right of seller, or what is the duty of the seller, that is based on the things which are mentioned as condition and warranty. Okay. So every important term in a contract of sale must be examined to determine whether it is a condition or a warranty. So wherever you are finding any kind of terms and conditions, you have to check whether it talks about condition or whether it talks about warranty. So it might look confusing, but as soon as we go on to the next topic, you will clearly understand what is the difference between the two. What is condition, what is warranty. Okay, so let us start with this section 12. So section 12 basically says that it has 4 subsections. So section 12 basically has 4 subsections. So first subsection, it says that a stipulation in a contract of sale with reference to the goods which are the subject matter may be condition or warranty. So the first subsection clearly says that stipulation can be of 2 types. One can be condition, the other one can be warranty. Okay, that's it. That is it, which is given in the first subsection. Now let us come to subsection 2. This is the definition of condition. So if at any point of time you want to quote a section particularly saying the definition of the condition, it is 12 subsection 2. So 12 and in brackets you will write 2. So 12.2 defines condition. So what is the definition of condition? A condition is a stipulation. So here at the starting itself, you can read it out. Condition is a stipulation. So it is a type of stipulation which is essential for the main purpose of the contract. So let me just highlight this thing for you. Okay, so this is essential for the main purpose of the contract. Main purpose of the contract means it is the very base of the contract. If this condition is not fulfilled, the buyer has all the rights to return the goods. And that is mentioned here. Let me just read it fully for you. So a condition is a stipulation which is essential to the main purpose of the contract, the breach of which, that means if the condition is not fulfilled. Breach simply means if that condition, whatever you have said, it is not fulfilled by the other party, then in that case, it will give rise to a right. So in that case, the buyer will get a right to treat the contract as repudiated. What do you mean by repudiated? It simply means the buyer will now have the right to cancel the contract. So he has the right to cancel the contract. Is this definition clear? A condition is a stipulation essential to the main purpose of the contract, the breach of which gives rise to right to treat the contract as repudiated. So suppose a buyer which has gone to the shop to purchase that laptop, he has specifically mentioned that I need suppose 8 GB RAM, or maybe much more than that. I'm saying very small quantity, but it has to be suppose say 128 GB of RAM, suppose he wants. So if that is not given in the laptop, or if that specification is not existing in that laptop, in that case, the buyer has the right to return the goods, or he may simply cancel the contract, which simply means that even if he has made the payment, he has the right to recover that money back. That is the definition of condition. Next is the definition of warranty. So where is the term warranty defined? So it is defined in section 12, subsection 3. It specifically talks about the definition of warranty. So warranty is a stipulation. Till here, both the things are same. A condition is a stipulation, a warranty is also a stipulation, because both of them are types of stipulation. But here is the differentiating factor. Here it is saying that a warranty is collateral to the main purpose of the contract. So it is collateral means what? It is secondary. It is not essential. It is not important. Even if it is not fulfilled, the contract is not supposed to be cancelled. So you can write here, it is secondary. Okay, it is not very important. So a warranty is a stipulation collateral to the main purpose of the contract, the breach of which gives rise to. Now, what happens if this warranty is not fulfilled? Does it give any right? Yes, it gives some kind of right. What is that right? It is a right to claim damages. You can simply claim damages, but not the right to reject the goods. You cannot reject the goods. That is again very important. So what is the basic difference between condition and warranty? In condition, you can reject the goods. When you are treating the contract as cancelled, it simply means you are rejecting the goods. You don't want those goods because your condition is not fulfilled. But here you cannot reject the goods. In warranty, you cannot reject the goods, and simply you cannot treat the contract as repudiated. That is what is meant here. So this is the difference between condition and warranty. First and foremost thing is condition is very, very important. If that condition is not fulfilled, the ultimate outcome will be the whole contract will be cancelled. What is the important thing in warranty to understand? It is collateral. It is collateral, which means that it is secondary for the main purpose of the contract. It will not cancel the contract even if this warranty is not fulfilled. It will only give rise to claim damages. You can simply claim damage, but you cannot return the goods. That is what is meant here. We will take some examples to understand it in detail. Don't worry about it. Okay, what is subsection 4? So subsection 4 says whether stipulation in a contract of sale is a condition or warranty depends. So whatever people are discussing, because everyone has not studied law, so they cannot write or they cannot say whether a condition, whether this is a condition or this is warranty. So we may use the terms in other way also, or I may be intending to say something as condition, but since I do not know the legal terms, I may end up saying as warranty. So it happens that the terms can be interchanged or these terms are not used at all. Then how to interpret? How does the judge interpret in those circumstances? Because buyer and seller, both of them are saying that this was not mentioned, or maybe I could not understand it in that way. These terms were not used. So when the case goes to the court, how does the judge interpret? So he interprets taking this subsection 4 as a guide. So 12 subsection 4 says that whether a stipulation in a contract of sale is a condition or warranty, it depends on each case of construction of the contract. So how the contract is formed, contract बना कैसे है, उसके बेसिस पे डिसाइड होगा कि जो हम कह रहे हैं वो कंडीशन है या वारंटी है. So again, how the contract is designed, how the contract is formed. Suppose I'm saying that the memory part is very important for me. If I'm purchasing a laptop, it should have this much memory, or it should have this much, these are the features which I want in the particular laptop. So if that thing is not fulfilled, I will return the goods. So if my intention is at any point of time to return the goods, in that case, that particular thing which I'm saying will amount to condition. And if I say that it's okay, even if you do not fulfill those things which I'm saying, it should have that, but it is not very much mandatory, then in that case, it will become warranty. So how a contract is designed, that is what the basis on which the whole thing is dependent on. So that is what is mentioned here. So are we okay till here? And then obviously we will take a lot of examples to understand, but since we are understanding the background, just let me know if this part is clear. Repudiate simply means cancel. Repudiate means cancel. So wherever this term is used in law, it means cancellation. So contract will come to an end. So it simply means that if buyer has made the payment, he will receive the money back. Whatever goods he has received, he has to give those goods also back to the other party. Both will be at par, as if the contract has never taken place. So that is simply meant by repudiate. Okay, Ridwik. And Akshit is asking, ma'am, warranty में conversion of stipulation क्या है? वो conversion वाला topic हम थोड़ी देर में लेंगे, ठीक है? We will take that in some time. So let me just quickly rub this whole thing, and then we can step to the next part. So everything will be discussed in detail. Don't worry about it. This was just the starting, just to tell you the section numbers where it is clearly given and what is basically we are discussing in this topic. So now let us discuss the detailed meaning of condition. So again, the section number is highlighted for you. It is 12.2. So what is condition? A condition is a stipulation. We are now breaking down the definition, because we have to learn it, we have to write it in our exam. So we have to understand the whole thing. So a condition is basically a stipulation which is essential to the main purpose of the contract. And what is the effect of its breach? Breach means if that particular condition is not fulfilled. So if buyer has given some condition, seller is not fulfilling that. In that case, what are the rights available to a buyer? In that case, what are the rights available to a buyer? So that is what is meant by effect of breach of condition. So buyer can treat the contract as repudiated. Buyer can reject the goods. Buyer may also claim damages where appropriate. So he can simply reject the goods. And if he has faced any, problems, or he has faced any kind of damages or any kind of injuries, he can claim that in financial terms from the seller also. So that is what is given here. So we have to understand two important things from this part. Condition is basically essential to the main purpose. Second part is the breach of condition gives rise to two things. First is the buyer can reject the goods, and he may, again it is mentioned, it's not compulsory to claim the damages, but he has the right, he may claim some damages also. He may claim some damages also. So suppose we are taking the example of Rohit, who had taken that laptop, and he took the laptop at home because then and there he could not check all the functions. When he started doing some project on it, at that point of time he understood that it is not as per my specifications. So he can, return those goods. And suppose any opportunity has been lost because he has got some project and he could not deliver that in time. So he had to also pay penalty to the other person. So that is something which he can claim from the seller also. But obviously, when you are asking the seller to pay the damages, he will obviously deny. He will not accept that in one go. So for that reason, the court will come into picture. A person has to file the application there, and then he can recover the damages. So for this goods, wherever you are purchasing goods, the person whosoever is buying is also a consumer. Obviously, he's a consumer. So we have consumer courts also. So that is particularly a different topic. For the time being, we are understanding this in a sale of goods context. So we can even file a case for sale of goods act, and at the same time we can file an application in the consumer forum also. So both the things are applicable in case of this kind of situations. So let us take this example. P buys a car expecting mileage of 20 kilometer per liter. Whenever you are going to take a demo of any car, or you are actually visiting any car dealer shop, so you are checking the model, you are checking the specification, and the person or the salesman who is there, he will tell you that this is the mileage of the car, and this is the, these are the unique things of this particular car. So the salesman told Mr. P that it will give you 20 kilometer per liter. But while after purchasing, obviously, when P actually experienced, he found out that the car gave only 15 kilometer per liter. In that case, the stipulation goes to the root of the contract, because he purchased the car believing that it will give so much mileage. However, it is not giving that effectively. In that case, it will be considered as a breach of condition. So that is the case of condition. Okay. Let us understand this warranty also, and then we will take up any questions if you have. Meaning of warranty. A warranty is a stipulation collateral to the main purpose of the contract. And what is the effect of the breach of warranty? The buyer cannot reject the goods. The buyer cannot repudiate the contract. Repudiate, again, I'm saying it simply means cancellation of the contract. And then the third point and the next point is buyer can only claim damages. ठीक है, तो वारंटी के केस में बेसिकली you cannot reject the goods, but simply you can claim the damages. So you cannot cancel the contract, you still have to keep the goods, but you can simply claim the damages. Let us discuss it with the help of one example so that you will understand. A car is sold with a 1-year warranty. If the horn becomes defective after some months, so the horn of the car, if it becomes defective, it is not giving away the proper sound, then the defect amounts to breach of warranty only. You can claim damages because at the time of sale, whatever the condition may be, I mean, whatever the circumstances may be, the horn was not that of very much importance. The car, its mileage, or maybe the other things were very important. If the horn is not working well, what you can do is you can get a replacement of that particular horn, or maybe some damages, or the any kind of compensation for that particular horn. But you cannot, give away the car just because the horn is not working properly. That is what is meant here. Is this example clear? Are we okay with condition and warranty? What is essential for the contract? Condition is essential for the contract. Warranty is collateral. Then second aspect will be, if condition is breached or if warranty is breached, what are the rights available to the buyer? In case of condition, he can repudiate, he can cancel the contract, and he can also claim the damages. However, in the case of warranty, he cannot cancel the contract, he can simply claim damages. And these are the examples which we have discussed. Both these condition and warranty are types of, let me have it in the chat box. These two are types of dash. Conditions and warranties are type of stipulation. Conditions and warranties are types of stipulation. Yes, Harshit, you are right. These are kinds of stipulation because it is there in the definition itself, right? Okay. So this is what we have to understand. Tanu is saying, ma'am, can you make clear repudiate? Repudiate, whenever the term is used, just simply means cancel. Tanu has purchased any goods, and in that case, if you do not like the goods, or if you do not like, suppose you had ordered a topper and you do not like that topper, what you can do is you can return that. So when you are returning any kind of goods, or when you are rejecting any kind of goods, what you are doing it means that you have come back to the original position, as if that contract has never happened. जैसे कभी हुआ ही नहीं. Repudiate मतलब contract cancel कर देना. So आपने contract cancel कर दिया, इसका simple मतलब आप आपकी चीज वापस ले लो, मुझे मेरे पैसे वापस दे दो. तो हम दोनों के बीच में as if कभी कुछ हुआ ही नहीं. Buyer और seller के बीच में, हमारे बीच में कुछ हुआ ही नहीं. So that is simply it is meaning of the repudiation. Repudiation means coming back to the original positions kind of, or cancellation. Cancellation of whatever has been done so far. Warranty का example हमने discuss कर लिया, and we will discuss many more examples in the coming slides. So Akshay, don't worry, you will learn the things in detail in the coming slides also. We will take descriptive questions, we will take case study questions. So let me just stick to the topic first. So what is the ultimate effect if someone asks you what is the effect of condition, what is the effect of breach of condition? What is the effect of breach of warranty? So again and again, this is highlighted for you that if there is a breach of condition, the aggrieved party. What do you mean by aggrieved party? The party who is at loss. जिसका नुकसान हुआ है, जिसने जो बोला था वो काम उसका पूरा नहीं हुआ. That is aggrieved party. Aggrieved party who has faced the consequences. So in our case, buyer has given the condition, his condition is not fulfilled. So buyer is aggrieved party. Okay, so the aggrieved party can repudiate the contract of sale. In case of breach of warranty, the aggrieved party can claim the damages. A breach, second point, a breach of condition may be treated as breach of warranty. Now here is a twist. Sometimes a condition can be treated as warranty. How can that be done? Again, the details will be discussed in the coming slides, but it may happen that you love the laptop which you have purchased. Or if I take the example of Rohit, he likes all the features. It is just that the memory part is not there. The capacity which he wanted, that it should have, 128 GB RAM or something. Only that part is missing. So he's saying, okay, let it be. The laptop is overall good. I will just use an extendable memory from my side. So let it be. I will have that, and I will not return this laptop. I will keep it, but I will charge the damages. Since I have to get the additional part from my side, I have to incur some expenses out of my pocket. Therefore, I can claim it from the seller. So if you are doing that kind of situation, if you are entering into that kind of thing, in that case, you are treating this condition into warranty. If we take the example of car itself, wherein first you said that it should have this much mileage capacity, 20 kilometer, it should have the mileage. However, you are okay with all other aspects. The car is very good, it is very much comfortable. And just because of this mileage feature, you think that I have to return the goods, and you are saying, no, no, I'll keep the car. I don't want to return it. Though it was my essential condition, but I will not return it. I will keep it with myself, but I will charge some damages because it is not as per the specification as mentioned by the salesman. So he can still keep the goods. He cannot. The buyer has the right that he can still keep the goods even though it was his condition, but he may treat that as a warranty. So whenever you are treating your condition as a warranty, you still have one right. You can claim the damages. Is that part clear? Uh, Someone is saying something. Let me just read. Ram consults Sham. Okay, so this is a case study kind of question. I'll take 2, 3 examples more from my side, and then I will take up your question, which is there in the chat. Okay, just allow me to complete this topic, and then we will take your questions. Construction of contract 12.4. So here you will understand it in detail. There is stipulation whether a stipulation is a condition or warranty depends on the construction of the contract, how the contract is formed. Construction means how the contract is designed. The substance of the term matters more than the name given it to it. Just as I discussed it earlier also, since in layman language, maybe people are not aware of these legal terms. If we talk about the general common man, he is not aware about what is condition, what is warranty. He may take any terminology of his own, maybe his local language, but what does his intention is, basically what does he intend, whether he intends to return the goods if that particular thing is not fulfilled, or whether he wants to just claim damages. That will be the basis ultimately to decide whether whatever the terms and conditions are fixed between buyer and seller, whether that is a condition or a warranty. So that is what is mentioned here. And this aspect is basically taken up when the cases go to court. The judges there use this construction of contract section 12 subsection 4 criteria to decide, to understand finally what the buyer intended, what was the intention of the buyer. Okay, so do not decide anything on the basis of terminologies used by buyer and seller. Decide based on the role of the stipulation in the contract. So whether the role of that particular stipulation was to return the goods, whether its role was to claim damages only, whether its role was to completely cancel the contract if that particular thing is not fulfilled, then in that case, it will be treated either way. I mean, if you really wanted to cancel the contract, then in that case, it will be considered as condition. If you just wanted the damages, then in that case, it will be considered as warranty. Okay, so let us just take this example. Rohit buys a laptop. So he's taking this laptop and here he's using this for some heavy graphic designing work. The seller is saying that this model is of very good condition, and it fulfills all whatever specification you have mentioned, and it will be very, very suitable for you if you really want to do some heavy graphic designing work. But when Rohit started using this, he found that this laptop is not suitable according to his working. So in that case, though they might have used different terms while talking amongst themselves or while talking to each other, they might not have used the legal terminologies. So in that circumstances, if we apply this 12 subsection 4, here the intention of Rohit was to purchase the laptop on the condition that it should allow me to do heavy graphic designing work, because he has made his purpose clear to the seller. So seller cannot, say that I never told you that I will take the goods back. I will now not take the goods back. So if you are returning and the seller is saying that no, I will not take this now. I have already given it to you. You should have checked it then and there. Why you are returning now? It cannot happen that way. So that is what is mentioned basically here. The term that is 100% suitable for heavy graphic designing work goes to the root of the contract. So it is a condition, even though it is called warranty in their language. Is this example clear? So finally, you can understand it here that since it is a condition, the right, what are the rights of Rohit? Rohit can return this laptop. He can also claim the damages. Suppose it was a warranty only, in that case, he could claim only the damaged part. He could not reject these goods. He could not return this laptop if at all this was considered as warranty. So what is the legal takeaway for us? It is not the name or the term which matters. It is the intention of the parties and whether the term goes to the root of the contract. So we are here to discuss how this contract is taken or what is the intention of the parties at the time of entering into the contract. So whenever this kind of question comes to your exam, so what do you have to decide? What was the main purpose of the contract? Why buyer is purchasing this kind of goods? Whether it is for some specific purpose, what was the main purpose of the contract? Whether it is essential or it is only collateral. So that ways you can understand. So always remember this phrase, substance over form. However the things are looking on the surface, the intention is the basic substance or the final thing which you have to check in any of these contract of sale is the substance or what does it actually interprets or what does it actually says. Okay, what is the intention behind it? So name can be changed, but the nature remains the same. So that is what we have to check. We have to check the nature or the intention of these parties. So this is a question for you. Let's see if you can answer. Ram consults Sham, a car dealer, and states that he wants a car for touring purpose. Sham suggests a particular car. So Ram has gone to this car dealer. He is not aware what kind of models are available and all. He has discussed that he wants a particular car which should suit for his touring purpose because he regularly conducts tour or basically he's more into that kind of service. So therefore he needs a rough and tough car which can bear all the road conditions. So that kind of model he's looking for. So Sham from his side, Sham who is a seller in our case, he has suggested a particular car to Mr. Ram. So Ram is just relying on the other person's expertise and he's buying the car, but the car proves unfit for the touring purpose. So what do you have to see here? So Ram has already disclosed his purpose. He had relied on seller's judgment. So here we can say that the stipulation was essential. So what was the stipulation here? Though nothing is mentioned whether it is condition or warranty, but how you can interpret if the car is not fulfilling the basic idea, then obviously the basic purpose, if it is not fulfilling, Ram has all the right to return this particular car. So that is what it is mentioned here. Ram can simply return the goods. So it is breach of condition. Very, very correct. Some students have already mentioned it in chat. Deepak, Vishnu, Pragati. So everything is mentioned. Just one more thing to understand here. So this is a breach of condition. I hope you can understand this example and you can finally draft a very good answer, quoting different sections also, because now you understand where all these definitions are given and how this is constructed. So 12.4 is supposed to be mentioned. very clearly in your answers. Let's see this illustration too. Ram buys a Maruti car. I think this was one of the questions in the chat box also, so I have taken it up here. Ram buys a Maruti car with 1 year warranty. After 6 months, the horn becomes defective. Okay, we have taken this example earlier also. So the horn is not the main purpose of the contract. We are okay, this person Ram, who's the buyer, he's liking the car overall. But howsoever, it is a small part. Horn is a very small part and it has become defective. So it is not the essential purpose of the contract. It is just collateral. And this is why we can consider it as a breach of warranty and he can claim damages because uh, obviously the horn is not of the particular specification. So he can claim damages because if he is now purchasing a new horn, he has to spend some money from his own pocket. So whatever expenses he is incurring, he can claim as damages from the seller. Okay, so it is breach of warranty. So at this point of time, I think we all are clear with what is condition, what is warranty, what happens if condition is breached, what happens if warranty is breached, and if nothing is mentioned, how to interpret any kind of contract of sale. So now it is the time for us to again distinguish between condition and warranty because this can be a question which can be asked in the examination. So there could be these four bases of differences. First is the nature. Condition is essential for the main purpose of the contract, while warranty is collateral. Regarding the importance, this is the primary term which we use, and this is obviously the secondary. If we talk about the breach, what are the rights available at the time of breach? So right to repudiate the contract altogether, that means right of cancellation is available with the buyer in case of condition. In case of breach of warranty, only right to claim damages is available. Whether buyer can reject the goods, yes, buyer can reject the goods in case a condition is breached. In case of warranty, if in case of breach of warranty, rejection of good is not allowed. So you cannot return your goods, you cannot reject the goods, you still have to keep the goods, but you can just claim the damages from the seller. Okay. So with this, we come to the end of section 12, and now we will be discussing section 13. So what does this section 13 talks about? So section 13 basically tells you the situations, the circumstances when condition can be treated as warranty. So again, you have to pay attention to this topic. What are the circumstances when a condition is treated as warranty? And first of all, let us understand what will be the impact. So when a higher level thing is going to a lower level, I mean, when a condition is converted into warranty, you are foregoing your right to repudiate the contract. Now, only the right which you will be available with is the right to claim damages. So that is what the effect mentioned here. So the buyer loses the right to reject the goods. Buyer loses the right to rescind the contract. Rescind means to repudiate the contract, to cancel the contract. It is one and the same thing. Both the things are same. Then buyer can claim the damages only. So buyer can claim damages only. See, just understand, if I have received the goods, okay, if I have received the goods have been delivered to me. I am buyer and I have received the goods. Then if condition is not fulfilled, I can reject the goods. So I can send these goods back because I don't like these goods. So I have the right to reject the goods. In case of agreement to sell, since it may happen that delivery has not taken place, so if my condition is not fulfilled in that particular circumstance, I can simply cancel the contract. So if I have the goods, I have to return it. If I do not have the goods, I can simply cancel the goods. I can simply cancel the contract. That is the difference between the first and second. And the third point is basically to claim the damages. So whenever you are canceling the contract, it simply means if you have the goods, you have to return. If you do not have the goods, you do not have to, purchase the goods from the seller. Ultimately, the contract has come to an end. And so wherever we are saying that condition is converted into warranty, it basically means that now you are foregoing your right to cancel, but you can simply have the rights which are available at the time of breach of warranty, which is the right to claim the damages. Are we okay till here? Are we okay till here? So Ushri is saying yes. Okay, Pallavi is also okay. So I'll take this part also, and then we can have a break. Okay. So let us understand this very important thing. So what is this talking about? I'll go back to this slide. We were discussing about section 13. Section 13 says what are the circumstances in which condition can be treated as warranty. What are the circumstances in which condition can be treated as warranty? But we have not discussed what are those conditions. Okay, so that detail we will be discussing in this particular slide. So there are four conditions when condition can be treated as warranty. Okay, there are four situations. First situation is voluntary waiver. I'm just reading out the names first, and then we will take some examples, and then we will understand. So first is voluntary waiver. Waiver means when you wave to someone, it is, saying bye, tata bye bye. So voluntary waiver, मैंने अपनी मर्जी से मना कर दिया, बाय कर दिया, या ये फॉरगो कर दिया. So suppose this, let us take an example at this point of time itself. I went to a car dealer and looking at various models of the car, I just wanted to purchase a particular car in a particular category, suppose. But I did not like the color of the car. So I asked the car dealer to show me various colors which are available. So he brought the catalog and he showed me various colors. So I liked a turquoise blue color for the category of car which I required. Okay. So the car dealer said that, oh yes, it is available in the some other godown and or warehouse. We will get it from there and we will deliver it to your place within a week's time. So, okay, I was okay that I'll make the payment, whatever is there. I just signed the check and I waited for the delivery to happen after a week. After a week, when I got the car, it was of blue color, but it was not of the specific variety of color which I wanted, because I mentioned specifically that I want turquoise blue color. But the color which I got was royal blue color. So even though I have the right to treat it as a condition, breach of condition, because I mentioned a particular color, I did not get that variety or that color model in the car. So I have all the rights, being a buyer, I have all the right to cancel the contract. I want my money back. I do not want to take the goods. I'm rejecting the goods. This is my right. I am the buyer. Since this was my condition, I will purchase the car only if it has a particular color. If it does not have, I'm not accepting that. So that is the thing which I'm saying again and again, that being a buyer, I have this right. But suppose the royal blue color car also seems good to me. So in that case, I'm myself waiving off my condition. So I had mentioned that I need turquoise color, turquoise blue color, but now in my mind, or I am feeling that this royal blue color is in fact better. So what I can do is I can simply, I could have rejected the goods, but I want to keep this car. I really want to keep this royal blue color also. So in that case, I'm treating condition into warranty. I can simply ask for some damages, because why to let the seller know that I really like this color? I also ask some damages. So I can ask damages from the seller that you have not provided me the specific thing which I wanted. Since you have made mistake, you compensate me. So I can ask damages from the seller. So that is the first point, where you are voluntary on your own. You are waiving your condition, because sometimes it happens that you are giving very rigid conditions and the seller is not able to fulfill those conditions. So, okay, if you still want to have some goods, then in that case, you can voluntarily waive that off. But that should be voluntary. No one should force you for that. That is the first part. The second part is electing. So electing means buyer is electing to treat this breach of condition as breach of warranty. So by his own choice, sometimes the example which I have given right now is like, I needed turquoise blue color, but the other party has given me royal blue color. Maybe that turquoise blue is not available now. Its production has stopped. So there could be circumstances wherein I have to wait for a year or 2 years for turquoise blue color car. So I cannot wait for so long. So I took the other color option for myself. So in that case, since I voluntarily waived my condition, it was like that. And suppose if I'm saying that I like this color by my own choice, I'm leaving that particular condition of turquoise blue color, and I'm accepting this royal blue color. In that case, I'm electing or I'm choosing this for myself. So when the buyer chooses to treat condition as a warranty, in that case, basically he can claim damages only. So in every circumstances, in all the four circumstances, you will find that the buyer is foregoing his right to reject the goods, and he can now only claim damages because he is lowering down his condition and now he's treating that only a warranty. Let me again tell you, for the waiver, waiver means he has himself foregone that, because turquoise blue color is very hard to obtain. The seller is saying that it will be manufactured, or the car company will be manufacturing it a year. It will take a year's time to get your specified car. So in that case, I had voluntarily waived it and I have took some other color car for myself. And if I think that the other color car is better than the one which I had ordered earlier, so I'm switching my choices. So when I'm electing it for myself, I can treat it in the second option, that is electing warranty. So from my side only, I have removed that as a condition, and I'm now treating it as a warranty. I have removed that particular color specification condition. Okay. The third aspect is acceptance. Acceptance, let me read it out for you. If the contract is non-severable and the buyer has accepted the goods, breach is treated as a warranty. So whenever you are purchasing something and the contract is non-severable, so non-severable and severable, let us understand that. Sever means uh, to cut or to detach. Non-severable means something which cannot be separated, something which cannot be, taken apart. So if you have purchased a watch, suppose I have purchased a particular kind of watch, I like the dial, but I don't like the strap. But this is something, it cannot be severed, it cannot be detached, because it is tied to it. You cannot simply change the strap, it is fixed. So the even though you do not like the strap, maybe that was the main condition, was the watch should be of a very good condition or whatever. I mean, that was not the main thing. So even if this something which is not severable, it is not something which cannot be separated, in that case, when you are accepting the goods, in that way you are treating condition as warranty. So that is what is mentioned here. If a contract is non-severable and the buyer has accepted the goods, because he cannot give away the other side which he is not liking, so in that case he has to accept the whole of it. So when you cannot detach something and give it away to someone else, so in that case, because see, seller can say, if you do not like this, you can send it back to me, but how can I cut off the strap and send it to the seller? So in that case, if a contract is non-severable and the buyer has accepted the goods, it will be treated as warranty only, and it is not a condition in that case. Next, impossibility. Or suppose, let us take in the context of car itself, I am giving you one example. Suppose the model which you chose, the royal blue color which has come to you, the engine, because we did not discuss about the engine quality and all, maybe while discussing. So the engine is something which you are not liking now. So now if that particular thing is non-severable, because it cannot be detached from the car, so you cannot give it away. So that is why the condition is now treated as warranty in that particular case. Because you have accepted the car, you have taken the car, you have to accept it with all the attachments. So you cannot cancel the whole of the thing. So that is what is mentioned here. Last and the most important thing is impossibility. Impossibility means that something which is excused by law. Excused by law means, like if you all know, government is of the view that we should not use plastic, but still sometime or the other there is a drive that you do not have to use plastic. There was a complete ban, but again it has started. So during that time, if someone had given an order and they had specified that I need it to be wrapped in plastic and then you have to deliver it to me. So that was the basic condition, that you have to wrap it in plastic and then you have to deliver it to me. The seller could have said that plastic is banned. I cannot deliver it to you, wrapping it in plastic, and I cannot deliver it that way. So in that case, condition had to forcefully convert into warranty. So if there is some kind of impossibility, which is basically something which is not allowed by law, then in that case you have to forego it, and now you have to consider it as a warranty. If I take this example of car itself, suppose that particular car which we are talking about, the turquoise blue car, whatever the model or the company was, it was creating a lot of carbon emission, and the government has come with the policy that this particular kind of model should not be produced any further. So there was a complete ban on that company, that it could not manufacture that kind of cars. So since there was a ban from the government and the company could not manufacture those cars, it was not the seller's fault basically. So in that case, the condition had to be converted into warranty. So that is something mentioned here. Are we okay till this point of time? There are some more questions, cases. Let us, and just because whatever we have discussed, it is mentioned in text also. And there is an example. Let us discuss this and then we can have a short break. A agrees to supply B 10 bags of first quality sugar. Instead, A supplies second quality sugar. So basically, when buyer and seller are discussing, the quality is very important at this point of time, as we can understand. So quality is important, and therefore this is condition. So if the seller is not giving you that particular quality, if he has given you some other quality, as a buyer, or sorry, A was the seller here and B is buyer. So B has two options. Being a buyer, he has two options. He can either reject the goods saying that this is breach of condition, or he may accept the goods and claim the differences as damages. Why there will be a difference? Because if you are purchasing goods of higher quality, then obviously the rate should have been higher. So if he is ordering, say, 10 bags of wheat, the amount should have been, say, 1,000 rupees. We are assuming that. And if he is getting the low quality sugar, then maybe the market price of that sugar, the second quality sugar, is 800 only. So if he has already paid 1,000 rupees to seller, he can claim his 200 amount back. So that is what is mentioned here. This will be considered as, B has both the option. He can treat it as a condition. In that case, he can return the whole of the sugar, whatever he has returned, whatever he has received, he can return it altogether. Or if he thinks that, okay, this sugar is also okay for me, then in that case, he can only ask for the damages or the differential amount he can ask for. Okay. Can anyone tell me in this situation, then here B is opting for converting condition into warranty? Out of the four things we had discussed, these above, he has waived his condition, or he has elected it, or this is related to non-severable thing, or this is excused by law. Out of these four, which is the option he has chosen? He is converting condition into warranty. But if I have to choose out of these four, which point he has taken, or out of which particular thing he has chosen? He has waived. Most of you have said. Deepak is saying he has waived his condition, or he is electing. So that is what you have to say. He is electing by his own choice. So maybe election would be a better choice here. Don't you think? Just think it again. Waived means he has foregone. Let it be whatever it is. Since it may happen that that is not available at all. So normally waves happen, wave condition happen when the things are not available, that kind of situation. But here it is simply, he's himself electing, he's okay with what is supplied to him. So he's choosing by himself, so he is electing basically. So in exam, obviously you will not be asked that much in detail, but it is simply that part is clear to you, that he has foregone his right to, completely rejecting the goods, and he is accepting, uh, he is still accepting, but he can claim the damages. That is what can be there. Okay, so again, for your purpose, till, I mean, since you are in foundation only, you do not have to bother about, in details. There are many things which can be discussed at detail, but for your part, I mean, this is what is given in your module also. When does a condition is treated as warranty? So for voluntary waiver itself comprises of two things. Waiver, when a buyer is waiving his performance, or the other part is election to treat the condition as warranty. So the first 2 points are covered in voluntary waiver. The other two are covered in compulsory waiver. So that is how module has categorized it in it for you basically. So if the things are non-severable, it simply means that compulsorily you have to accept the whole of the goods. The other thing is, if it is excused by law, law is missing here, but if it is excused by law, or if it is not allowed by law that you cannot do this kind of contract, then obviously in that case, condition will be treated as warranty. Can we take up the question, or you want to take up the questions after the break? We can have a 5 minutes break and then we can take the question. Vishnu, we can have a break of 5 minutes and then we can have questions right after the break. Okay. So it's 3:21 by my watch. So let us be there back by, okay, it's 3:22 now. So let us be back by 3:27. Okay, then this is the first question for all of you. A condition is option A, B, C, D. These are in front of you. What is the correct answer? Most of you are already giving me the right answer. Ushri, Akshat. Let me know the section number also at this slide itself. What is the section for condition? Where this condition term is defined? 12.2. Deepak, Vishnu, Bhumek, very right. Next, moving further, next question. Breach of condition gives right to option A, claim damages only. Option B, reject the goods. Option C, specific performance. Or D is none. Okay, most of you are right again. Lakshita, Pragati, Ushri. I'm not taking the names of all, but most of you have already given the correct answers. Deepak, Akshay, Jyoti. Jyoti, it's not it's reject goods. Correct. B option is correct. He has the right to reject the goods. Next. Breach of warranty gives right to what? If the buyer has breach of warranty, it will give him the right. If the seller has breached warranty, it will give buyer the right to claim damages. Harshit, he will have the right to claim damages. He cannot reject the goods. He cannot repudiate the contract. He has to keep the goods. See, in case of warranty, you will have to keep the goods, but you can just claim the compensation. You can just claim the damages. That is mentioned here. Okay. Next, condition may be treated as warranty. Condition may be treated as warranty at what time or what are the circumstances? Out of these four, what is the correct answer? I think this is also easy for you. Yes, correct. Option A, Shri, Vishnu, Dakshita, Samarth, sorry, Akshay, Deepak. All of you have given the correct answers. So it is option A. Buyer waives, when buyer is waiving his condition, he may treat it as a warranty. Next question. Implied condition as to title means. So this we have not discussed, but let us see if you can answer this. Implied condition as to title means the seller has the right to. Okay, Akshita has answered, but though since I have not taught you, so I will just skip this question. Let us see if you can understand it. After we will discuss the topic, I will take that question again later on. Okay, so let us discuss this descriptive question first. It's okay if you people have answered it. We'll check your answers later. I'll disclose the answer later when we will discuss the topic in detail. So this is the question. Let us read it quickly. Ananya is a freelance architect who recently started her own design consultancy. To undertake 3D modeling and architectural rendering projects, she visited Technozone Computers, a reputed dealer of high-end laptops. Ananya informed the salesperson that she required a laptop capable of running advanced architectural software such as AutoCAD, Revit, and Lumion. So these are the specific softwares which she wanted them to run on this computer. The salesperson recommended a premium laptop costing 2,20,000 and assured her that it was specifically suitable for high-end architectural design. Relying upon the seller's expertise, Ananya purchased the laptop and immediately started using it for client projects. Within a month, she discovered that the laptop frequently overheated and crashed while running rendering software. An independent technician confirmed that the laptop's graphics card was unsuitable for heavy architectural applications. By this time, Ananya had already completed several client assignments using the laptop and had earned substantial professional fees. Since she could not afford disruption to her ongoing work, she decided to retain the laptop. So this is the crux. She decided to retain the laptop. She wanted to keep the laptop but demand compensation from the TechZone computer. So she wanted damages from the TechZone computer. So that is here you have to basically read from this paragraph that Actually, that was essential. When she went to the shopkeeper for buying that laptop, she specified that I need a particular laptop which can help me doing architectural work or designing work. So that was basic condition. But now she's treating condition as warranty. So that is what is mentioned here. Uh, the seller argued that since Ananya had accepted and continued to use the laptop, she could no longer reject the goods. So seller is saying that she cannot reject the goods. Now you can advise the parties how can they take it up further. So let me have the answers from you first, and then we will see what is the actual answer. She can claim damages. Pragati is saying she can claim damages. Bhumik is saying seller has to give the compensation. Akshit, your answer is not clear. She has a right to accept the goods, reject the goods. What is it? Vishnu is saying section 13 is applicable. Okay, let's see. Okay. So how to write the answer? First of all, facts of the case. So summary of the case, you have to write it in your own words. Then second paragraph should be the relevant provisions of the act. So here we are basically discussing section 13. So you have to mention section 13, the provisions which are given in section 13. You have to write the theory part. So what is this particular section 13 talking about? What are the conditions when what are the situations or circumstances when a condition is treated as warranty? So you have to tell the basic detail here in this part. So I'm just taking you directly to the analysis part, which is the next paragraph. In the present case, there was initially a breach of implied condition as to fitness for purpose. This fitness for purpose we will discuss in detail, but for the time being, we should understand that it is a breach of implied condition. Since Ananya had informed the seller of her specific requirement and relied upon the seller's expertise, however, instead of rejecting the laptop, Ananya continued to use it because she should have returned it in maybe at day 1, day 2, or instead, I mean, using it for a long time, she could have returned it earlier also. That is what the seller is saying. So she had continued to use it. She had completed several commercial projects. She has derived substantial benefit from it, and voluntarily she wants to retain the possession of the laptop. She herself is saying that she wants to continue to have that laptop. So by accepting and continuing to use the goods, Ananya effectively elected. So she has chosen that. So Ananya has effectively elected to treat breach of condition as breach of warranty under section 13. Consequently, she loses the right to repudiate the contract or reject the laptop. Nevertheless, she retains the right to recover damages for the loss suffered due to the seller's breach. So in short, it is mentioned here that section 13 is applicable. She can now convert this condition into warranty out of her own choice. She has elected for that, and therefore she has the right to claim damages. She cannot repudiate the contract, she cannot cancel the contract, she cannot return the goods, but she can only claim damages. Okay. So what is the final conclusion? I'm just reading the last part. Therefore, she cannot reject the laptop, she can retain the laptop, and she is entitled to claim the damages or the compensation from the seller for the losses suffered due to the defective performance. Okay. Now there is again one more thing which you should remember here. Suppose in this particular case, Ananya had discovered the defect on the very first day, and immediately she went and returned the laptop without using it. In that case, whether section 13 will still apply, that is the question. So in that case, because she is going there instantly, she is returning the laptop instantly. In that case, this section 13 will not apply, since the buyer had neither accepted or elected to retain the goods. She could treat the breach as breach of condition only, and she has all the rights to reject the laptop, rescind the contract, and also claim the damages if at all any applicable. So here we must understand when it is treated as rejection, when it is treated as breach of condition or breach of warranty. Okay. Are we okay to go further? Express and implied conditions. Should I take up the next topic, express and implied condition? Okay, fine. So let me just start with this. See, these conditions and warranties, if they are discussed orally or in writing, if you have, then it is considered as express conditions and warranties. Who will discuss this? Buyer and seller will discuss this at the time of making the contract. What if they have not discussed? There are still some conditions and warranties which are implied by law. So even if there is some defect in the goods and the buyer has not mentioned anything, whether he will he will take the goods back or whatever the case may be, or whether you are eligible to claim damages or not, everything is mentioned in the law. So there are some specific conditions which are given in the law that in these circumstances you can treat it as a breach of condition. And there are some circumstances wherein you can treat it as a breach of warranty, even though you have not discussed it expressly with the buyer or with the seller. If you have not discussed it, still you can go ahead with it. Okay, so let us see what are these. So conditions and warranties may be express. That means expressly they can be discussed between the parties at the time of making the contract, or this can be implied. That means they are not stated in words, they are not discussed in detail, but they are mentioned in the law itself. So implied term exists even if implied terms means implied terms and conditions, or conditions and warranties basically, even if parties do not expressly mention them. So what are these implied conditions and warranties? In this chapter, in this unit, basically we will be discussing the implied conditions and warranties. What about the express conditions and warranties? As I mentioned earlier also, that it will depend case to case, because it will be as per the discussion between buyer and seller. So they can have n number of express conditions or warranties, and those cannot be discussed at length. Whatever is given in law, we are discussing that part only. So implied conditions, as they are given in the law itself, we are discussing this, or they are given in the act. So we will discuss that part. So what are the types of conditions? What are the various implied conditions? So first is condition as to title. Wherever the term title is used in Sale of Goods Act, it refers to ownership. So again and again, I'm mentioning this. Wherever the term title is mentioned, it refers to ownership, because whole unit 3 will be discussing about the ownership. So at that point of time, you should remember this term title. So condition as to title. So without even reading the topic, can anyone tell me what does this condition as to title would mean? Who will have the right of ownership? The buyer will have the right of ownership if it is a case of sale. Obviously, we know that. But here, actually, it means that the seller, originally, he should have the right to sell. He should be the owner of the goods so that he can sell it further. Later on, who will become the owner? Buyer will become the owner. That we know. But at the time of sale, at the time of making the sale, who has to have the title? Seller should have the title. He cannot sell the stolen goods or the goods which are not pertaining to you. You cannot sell them further. So let me just give you one example. Suppose I'm saying that I'm ready to sell this mobile to you. Though this mobile is not mine, you are not aware of it. This mobile is not mine. It is of one of my friend's mobile. I have it for the time being because he has given it to me. And what I'm doing is I'm selling it to you. So buyer may be unaware that who has the ownership of the goods. Since you are seeing it in my hand, maybe you can make out that this is mine only. But later on, when you find out that this does not belong to me, or when my friend comes to you saying that this is my mobile, you will have to return it to him because he is the ownership. You can say that you have already made the payment, but you cannot claim the goods. You will have to give the goods to the original owner, but whatever payment you have made, you have the right to claim it from me. Basically, since I was the seller in front of you, you can claim the money from me. So basically, in order to not to have this kind of confusion, it is clearly mentioned that whosoever is selling the goods, he should first of all have the right to sell. Basically, he should be the owner of those goods. and then only he can sell it to the other person. So this is the basic condition, that condition, or we can say it as condition as to title. That means the seller should have the right of ownership at the time when he's selling the goods. Okay, this is the first thing. We will discuss all these conditions in detail. Let me first just tell you the names of what all the conditions are there. Second, sale by description. So sale by description is basically when you are describing something, when you are describing a particular thing, then in that case, whatever description is given by the seller, the goods have to be according to those description. Suppose we go to a shop and we ask for a particular uh, uh, marker. We don't know which brand is good for us or which particular variety is good for us, but we want some kind of pen or a marker. We have told our purpose maybe to the shopkeeper, and then the shopkeeper is saying that this is what this particular pen is of very good quality. It will have 2-3 ink in itself, or whatever description he has given. So that kind of description the good should have. If you are paying to the seller based on the description of the goods, you are buying some goods, and then you come across to the situation that the goods are not fulfilling that particular description, you will feel that you have been fraud, or you have been cheated by that particular seller. So you have all the right to return the goods. You can claim your money back. So goods should correspond with the description. Whatever the description is given by the seller with respect to the particular goods, you have to have that particular things in the goods. If you are not having that, you can return the goods. So maybe in the car example wherein it was mentioned that it will give a mileage of 20 kilometer, and now if you are seeing that it is not giving 20-kilometer mileage, you have the right to return it. You have the right to return it because of which kind of condition? Because it is not matching with the description given by the salesman. So that is what is meant here, sale by description. Whatever description is given by the seller, the goods should match accordingly. Next is sale by sample as well as description. So here two things are important. If you are purchasing some goods based on some sample, so that is again the next condition. If you are seeing a sample and based on which you are giving a bulk order. Okay, sometimes it happens that during the wedding season, a lot of gifts are purchased to be given, a lot of gift items are purchased to be given to the baratis and all. So basically, or to the guest and other people. So basically, you order based on some particular sample, you order similar kind of bulk goods. So that is what is mentioned there. Whatever sample has been shown to you, the bulk goods, whatever you will be receiving later, should match with the original sample. So sample should, or the bulk order should correspond with the sample which was shown to you. You cannot be cheated on later on. And the third thing is sample as well as description. Both these things have to be there. So see, again, there are four implied conditions we have discussed so far, or the names only we have discussed so far. First is condition with respect to title. Title means the ownership. Second is sale by description. So any description, if the seller has given you some kind of description, then the goods must be according to those description. Okay. Then sale by sample as well as description. So if the seller is showing you some sample and he has also given you some description, both the things should be there in the final goods. Okay, this is the combined condition. Again, we have an individual condition, that sale by sample. If you have seen some sample and based on which you have given an order, the final product which you will be getting should correspond with the sample. That is what is meant in or what is given in section 17. Next is condition as to quality or fitness. Whatever you are purchasing, whatever goods you are purchasing must be of good quality, or it should be fit to use. This is the term which you can write here, fit to use. Whatever goods you are purchasing, they should be at least, ready to be used or fit to be used. Suppose I am buying a chair, it should have a very good quality and at least it should be fit for any person to sit. It should not break if any heavy person is sitting on it. So it should bear the weight. So it should have the proper fitness. It should be ready for various circumstances. It should have good quality. It should be fit for use, whatever use we have purchased the goods for. Next is condition as to merchantability. Merchantability basically means goods should be sellable. So goods, how it will be dealt or how it will be taken up in detail, that we will see in the coming slides. But for the time being, merchantability means goods should be saleable in the name in which they are known in the market. So basically, merchantability means they should be really in the saleable form. The goods should be in the saleable form. Next is condition as to wholesomeness. Wholesomeness basically applies to eatables. This last condition applies to eatables. So whatever edible products are there, suppose I'm purchasing chips or I'm purchasing cold drink or chocolates or whatever, anything to eat. So it should have proper quality. Okay, the ingredients are mentioned there. It should have proper quality also. That is what is mentioned here. Condition as to wholesomeness. It should be fit to eat. It should have proper quality so that the other person does not become sick while eating it. So if at any point of time you find that the chips which you are purchasing or the chocolate you are purchasing is not of good quality, it is having some germs, it is having some infected or if you have got some infection after eating that particular chips or chocolates, then obviously you can claim compensation from the other party. So that is meant by this condition as to wholesomeness. Let us discuss the warranties also. We will discuss all these conditions one by one in detail with examples. But for the time being, we should understand the at least the names of the conditions. Next is warranty as to undistributed, undisturbed, basically possession. So undistributed possession or undisturbed possession. If I am purchasing something, it is basically corresponding to this condition as to title. Once I have purchased some product, if I have purchased some good, then being a buyer, no one should disturb me while keeping the goods. So when I had given this example that I'm selling this mobile to you, where the fact is that I am not the owner, but being a buyer, what is your perception? As a buyer, you should not be engaging in that kind of situation. There is some other person is coming to you and saying that give me back this mobile. How dare you take this mobile? You have no rights to take this. So there was no fault of the buyer in that. So basically, the warranty is that no one should disturb you in the possession of the goods. If you have paid the price, if you have purchased something, then in that case, you have all the right to use the goods. No one should bother you, no one should disturb you in the possession or in the holding of the goods. So that is basically derived from this condition as to title. So in section 14, you will find condition, and in the details, if you read it further, then you will have the warranties also associated with this. Next is warranty as to non-existence of the encumbrance. This is again related to the condition as to a title only. So what is meant by encumbrance? Let us understand the meaning of encumbrance term here. So encumbrance basically means that the property is encumbrance means charge over the property. Encumbrance means some liability is created on the property. So suppose if you are taking any loan, then in that case bank may ask so liability. I'm just writing liability. Okay, just understand this. I'm not writing it in full. Liability. Okay. So suppose when you are taking a loan and you are giving any of your goods on pledge, so in that case you have encumbered your goods. In that case, you have encumbered, since you have pledged already those goods. That simply means those goods are encumbered. So basically, in short, if you want to understand what is meant by encumbrance is that if a person, encumbrance simply means a liability created on some goods. So encumbrance means liability created on the goods or a charge created on the goods. And how we will interpret it in this Sale of Goods Act is like, let us take this example. If the car which I have taken, it is on loan. I have taken the car on EMI. So obviously this car is encumbered because I have taken loan from the bank and bank has the charge over this particular car. I cannot sell it without paying the complete loan. I cannot sell this car to anyone else. Without the bank's permission, I cannot do so. And if I am doing so, the other party or the buyer basically has the right to claim the damages. So that is what is meant here. The goods, whatever you are selling, they should be free from encumbrances. There should not be any existence of encumbrance or charge. That is meant here. Next is disclosure of dangerous nature of the goods. So what do you mean by dangerous nature? Sometimes behind medicines or any eatables or whatever you have, sometimes warnings are mentioned. If you have allergy, don't use this product. Like in the products, herbal products which you use, they are fit to use sometimes. But if in cosmetics, there might be some warnings mentioned in the product on the wrappers itself, that this may contain some chemical which may harm you. So first take an allergy test and then you use it. Or some kind of thing is mentioned. So basically it is written here also because it is an implied warranty. So if the goods have any kind of danger does not mean that something very big danger has to be there. It can be a very small allergic reaction also. It can be with respect to that also. So if any dangerous nature is present in the good, that has to be highlighted, that has to be disclosed, so that the buyer is aware while purchasing those goods. So he should be made aware. So that is the duty of the seller. We are discussing the duty of the seller to disclose the dangerous nature of the goods. And if he fails to do so, the buyer can claim the damages. So all in these cases of warranties, we can, as a buyer, we can claim the damages. And in case of these conditions, we can reject the goods, we can claim the damages at the same time. Last is warranty as to quality of fitness. If the goods which you are purchasing are not of good quality, then as per the implied condition, you can return the goods, and at the same time, you can claim the damages also, because it is mentioned as a warranty, implied warranty also. So we will discuss all these points in detail in next session. For the time being, if you have any questions, we are open to that. We can discuss any questions if you want. You can unmute and you can ask. We will discuss all these conditions and warranties in detail in next session. Anyone has any question? If you want to unmute, you can. Okay. Admin team, please give the right to the participants to unmute themselves. Students are not able to unmute themselves, so please allow them to unmute and ask the questions. Yeah, Tanu, can you just unmute yourself? Are you able to unmute yourself, Tanu or Akshay? Is there anyone from the admin team? Can you just please allow the students to speak? Please unmute them. If you're not able to unmute, please write your question in the chat box. I'll be happy to answer. Material terms means what, Tanu? Material terms means what? Okay, let me see if I can unmute you. Let me try that from myself. Tanu, please check if you can unmute yourself now.
हाँ, अब उन्होंने दे दिया मैम वो।
अच्छा, ओके। हाँ, तो अक्षित
तो
आप पूछ लो, पहले आप पूछ लो फटाफट।
अ, मैम जैसे कि आपने बताया, मैं यूनिट 1 से पूछूंगा, लेकिन अभी जो इस लाइन में आपने बताया, जैसे कि ये जो कंडीशंस होती हैं और वारंटीज होती हैं, ये मतलब ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल पे इम्प्लाई होती है।
हाँ, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ
ठीक है।
सेल में ही हम पढ़ रहे हैं इसको। वी आर रीडिंग दिस इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल ओनली।
हाँ, तो ये जो जैसे वारंटीज है, इम्प्लाइड कंडीशंस, और वारंटीज है, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल पे पढ़ रहे हैं, इनको मतलब आपने ये बताया कि किन किन सेक्शन में ये अप्लीकेबल है क्या मैम?
हाँ, ये दिया हुआ है इसमें हमारे मॉड्यूल में दिया हुआ है ना, सेक्शन वाइज वी आर गिवन इन द मॉड्यूल आल्सो। इम्प्लाइड का मतलब हुआ ये लॉ में दिया हुआ है, दैट इज व्हाई वी हैव सेक्शंस फॉर देम। जो एक्सप्रेस होगा फॉर देम ऑब्वियसली वी डू नॉट हैव एनी सेक्शंस, क्योंकि वो वहीं पे डिसाइड हो रहा है, बायर एंड सेलर आर म्यूचुअली डिसाइडिंग।
रेपुडिएट द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का क्या मतलब होता है मैम?
कैंसिल द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, कैंसिल द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट। कि तुमने मुझसे
अगर
कुछ
म-
सामान खरीदा, तुमने मुझसे कुछ सामान खरीदा, है ना, वो तुम्हारे अकॉर्डिंग सही नहीं चल रहा, तो तुम रिटर्न कर देते हो ना गुड्स। वो रिटर्न करने का मतलब ही होता है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कैंसिल करना। व्हेन यू आर
तो
रिटर्निंग द गुड्स, दैट सिंपली मींस यू आर रिजेक्टिंग द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट।
कंडीशन और वारंटी में मतलब जैसे राइट इन केस में ब्रीच होता है, तो उसमें अग्री पार्टी मतलब कंडीशन में उसको
अग्रीड पार्टी इज ऑलवेज हियर, इन केस इन आवर केस इट विल बी बायर।
वो रेपुडिएट कर मतलब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को खत्म करती है और
खत्म कर
डैमेजेस
सकते।
क्लेम
हाँ, उस
और क्लेम
बायर
कर
इज द
सकती
अग्रीड
है।
पार्टी ना, उसकी चॉइस से उसको चीज नहीं मिली, दैट इज व्हाई ही कैन रेपुडिएट द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट।
और डैमेजेस को क्लेम कर सकते हैं क्या मैम?
दोनों चीजें आती है। अगर हम कंडीशन की बात करते हैं, कंडीशन वाले केस में क्या होता है, आप गुड्स को तो वापस दे दोगे, गुड्स वापस देके, और आपको जो डैमेज हुआ है वो आप क्लेम कर सकते हो। इफ यू हैव इनकर्ड एनी डैमेज, तभी तो आपको मिलेगा। भाई तुम्हारा कुछ नुकसान होगा तो तुम्हें वो नुकसान मिल जाएगा। दैट इज द इंटेंशन। We will discuss various examples. You will understand each and everything in the next topic or
और
in the next session. You will understand each and everything. है ना?
और
Let us
ये
give right to someone else also to speak. है ना, अक्षर?
यू यस
Pallavi, you
मैम, बट
want to ask something?
यूनिट 1 से डाउट।
अक्षर, थोड़ी देर में, पहले एक बार किसी और से भी ले लेते हैं। पल्लवी, you wanted to ask, or Tanu, maybe you can unmute. Notes and assignments will be uploaded. Don't worry, that will be uploaded. पल्लवी, यू वांट टू आस्क समथिंग, कंडीशन एज टू मर्केंटेबिलिटी डिटेल में हम डिस्कस करेंगे। पल्लवी, वी विल डिस्कस दिस कंडीशन एज टू मर्केंटेबिलिटी इन डिटेल इन द नेक्स्ट सेशन। टुडे आई हैव जस्ट मेंशन्ड द terms for all of you, or I have just listed down these are the conditions, these are the warranties. For each topic we will discuss in detail with lot of examples, don't worry. Pragati is saying, ma'am, just 2 months are left for the exam, but still I'm not able to write or use proper legal words. ओके। जो भी चैप्टर में इंपॉर्टेंट टर्म्स हैं प्रगति, व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इज यू शुड write those important terms, like for this particular unit, again and again we are using this condition and warranty. So wherever you are writing your answers, you have to mention these terms. We have to use the legal terms, that is very important. For each unit you decide what are the various legal terms used, just write it somewhere and use them in your answers. Tanu, you can unmute and you can ask, please. Just check if you can unmute. Tanu, third point of effect of condition. What was the third point? I have tried from my side. I have already clicked on, I have asked the participant to unmute, but I don't know why Tanu is not able to unmute herself. Yeah, Tanu, you can ask now, please.
Ma'am, may I? Yes.
Sure, sure.
Ma'am,
Yes, yes.
buyers may also claim damages where appropriate. Ma'am, I'm confused
हाँ,
with this.
अच्छा ठीक है, ऐसा समझो आपने एक एग्जाम्पल आएगा अभी हमारे इसके अंदर. यू हैव परचेज्ड अ हॉट वाटर बॉटल. एक वो पानी के सेक करने की थैली होती है ना हमारी, हॉट वाटर बॉटल आपने एक खरीदा. ठीक है. अब उसमें जब हमने उसको यूज किया, व्हेन वी यूज दैट हॉट वाटर बॉटल, इट बर्स्ट. वो बर्स्ट हो गई एंड दैट हॉट वाटर स्पिल्ड ओवर यू एंड यू गॉट बर्न्स. तो आपको जब बर्न हो गया, यू हैड टू रश टू द हॉस्पिटल. जो भी आपके मेडिकल चार्जेस वगैरह लगे, you got so many, you had to take medicines to recover that. So you can take all those damages, you can take all those expenses which you have incurred from the seller, because it was the seller duty to have given to you the good quality goods. So that is what we will discuss. So अब क्योंकि वो तो burst हो गई, goods को तो आप कैसे return करोगे? तो burst होने का मतलब वो खत्म हो गया, खराबी हो गया. अगर फिर भी कुछ ऐसे कंडीशन में है that you can return it, then in that case you have to return the goods and you can even claim the money you had paid. जो आपने originally जो pay किया था वो money तो आप claim कर ही सकते हो. Plus you can claim whatever damages you have suffered. So all your medical expenses, all or whatever you have incurred any kind of expense, you can claim it from the seller. ठीक है. कई बार सूट फाइल करना पड़ता है कोर्ट
Ma'am,
में
my
जाके.
second question was
हाँ, बोलो बोलो बोलो.
my second question was the contract must include clear, explicit language stating that timing is a material term. Ma'am, I was not made.
अच्छा,
I was not
मटेरियल
understood
टर्म,
about.
मटेरियल टर्म मतलब इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. मटेरियल वर्ड जहां भी आएगा लॉ में, इट मींस इंपॉर्टेंट. तो अगर आपको टाइम को इंपॉर्टेंट बनाना है, इफ यू हैव टू मेक टाइम एज इंपॉर्टेंट टर्म, then you have to specifically mention that time of payment is important for me. You have to mention that. Time of delivery तो implied है कि वो मान लिया जाएगा. ठीक है. Time for payment you have to specifically mention. And sometimes it may happen that even the time of delivery is not that important for you. So that has to be mentioned somewhere. So material मतलब आपको अगर किसी चीज को important बनाना है, if you have to make some terms importantly mention it to the other party, you have to say it. I mean, or you have to discuss it. So that is what material here means. You have, if you want to treat that particular term or condition as important, then you have to specify.
मैम
Because the seller
डॉक्यूमेंट
might
ऑफ
not know what is going in your head. So you have to make them, you have to express them, basically. Pallavi, you want to ask something? You can unmute and ask. Pallavi, can you unmute and ask? Yes, Pallavi, go ahead.
डॉक्यूमेंट ऑफ टाइटल टू गुड्स में डाउट.
एक मिनट रुको, पल्लवी पूछ रही है. अक्षित, एक मिनट. Pallavi, are you able to unmute or should I read whatever you have written in the chat box? If the seller breaks implied condition as to title 14A, can the buyer reject the goods even after using them? हाँ, तो हमने क्या पढ़ा था अभी implied condition के केस में? आप यूज करोगे, sometimes it happens that while using the goods only you come to know that the condition is not satisfied, or the important, the specifications will not be visible or while purchasing. When you are actually using the goods, you come across to the situation that this is the particular condition which is breached. So after using also you can return the goods. It may happen that you can return the goods even after use, but it depends how long you have used it. So obviously the seller will not be able to take the goods back each and every time. For the time being, we have to understand that if it is not meeting your condition, you have the right to return the goods. Thank you, Tanu. If your doubts are clear, thank you so much. I
मैम नाउ
think,
कैन
हाँ अक्षित बोलो।
यूनिट 1 से मैं लास्ट क्लास में नहीं था, नहीं पूछ पाया, मेरा एक एग्जाम था बीकॉम का, इसलिए मुझे पूछना है।
अच्छा कोई बात नहीं, पूछो।
नहीं तो ऐसे नहीं रहती डाउट मुझे, ये लास्ट क्लास में ही था, सॉरी मैम।
अरे कोई बात नहीं,
अच्छा
पूछो पूछो, बोलो।
ठीक है। मेरी डाउट्स क्लियर करो, यूनिट 1 में थोड़ी थोड़ी है। असर्टेन्ड और अनअसर्टेन्ड गुड्स में पढ़ूंगा सेंटेंस, उसमें मेरा क्लैरिफिकेशन क्लियर करना, कुछ कंफ्यूजन है। असर्टेन गुड्स में मुझे ना उसमें
कितने
डाउट है।
डाउट्स है पहले ये बताओ, बिकॉज हमारा टाइम हो गया है, मेरे पास मैसेज आ रहा है बंद करने के लिए।
थोड़ा सा 5 to 6 मिनट पेशेंस रखो मैम।
अच्छा 5 to 6 मिनट्स, बोलो।
पेशेंस रखो। असर्टेन गुड्स में मुझे डाउट है, असर्टेन गुड्स में होता है कि जैसे वो आइडेंटिफाई होती है अकॉर्डेंस विद अग्रीमेंट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल मेड है।
अच्छा एक
तो
एक काम करोगे, तुमने पिछला सेशन अटेंड नहीं किया था ना अक्षित, एक बार
हाँ,
तुमने
रिकॉर्डेड देखा था, इसलिए मैंने आके
देख
फिर
लिया था।
पूरी,
अच्छा ठीक है ठीक है
तो
ठीक है।
इसलिए मैं
हाँ
अपने डाउट्स लाया हूँ मैं।
ठीक है, बोलो।
असर्टेन्ड गुड्स जैसे होता है वो आइडेंटिफाई होते हैं अकॉर्डेंस अग्रीमेंट में। आपने एग्जांपल दिया था, रिकॉर्डेड में मैंने देखा था। तो दिस जुडिशियली इंटरप्रेट होती है, और असर्टेन्ड गुड्स सेम सेम स्पेसिफिक में होती है। तो मेरा एक डाउट है, जैसे होलसेलर ऑफ कॉटन 100 बेल्स होती है गुड उनमें, ये होलसेलर ऑफ कॉटन 100 बेल्स इन इज
ये मैंने सेम
गोडाउन।
समझाया है उसके अंदर। आप अगर वापस
तो
देखोगे ना अक्षय, वापस एक बार सिंपल से समझोगे ना, अगर तुम जाते हो और जो कॉटन का पैकेट पड़ा है तुमने ऐसे कैसा उठा लिया, वो तो होता है स्पेसिफिक गुड्स। इन
यस
इन वेरी
मैम।
सिंपल लैंग्वेज, है ना। मुझे शॉप पे दिख गया ये चीज मुझे चाहिए, आपने पसंद किया, सेलर ने भी कहा यस इट इज ओके, यू कैन टेक दैट। दैट इज स्पेसिफिक गुड्स, बिकॉज वो दोनों ने पसंद कर लिया, आइडेंटिफाइड एंड अग्रीड अपॉन एट द टाइम ऑफ सेल। अनअसर्टेन क्या होता है, आपने सेलर को बोला आई नीड कॉटन, कुछ भी जो भी एक पैकेट है या बेल्स ऑफ कॉटन है या वट, हम उसे चूज नहीं कर पा रहे हैं क्योंकि सेलर के पास एक कार्टन में बहुत सारा पड़ा है। सेलर उसको खुद निकाल के हमें देगा, तो फॉर द टाइमिंग दे आर कंसिडर्ड एज अनअसर्टेन। देन द सेलर आइडेंटिफाइज आउट ऑफ दैट कार्टन की 5 बेल्स चाहिए या 4 बेल्स चाहिए, जो भी चाहिए, या 50 बेल्स चाहिए, उसने निकाल के अलग करके जैसे ही वो बाहर लेकर आया हमें देने के लिए, एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम इट बिकम्स असर्टेन। तो ये स्टेज बाय स्टेज होता है, वहीं का वहीं है, इट इज नोन एज आइडेंटिफाइड गुड्स या स्पेसिफिक गुड्स। हाथों हाथ नहीं हो रहा है तो हम उसको मानेंगे अनअसर्टेन। एग्जिस्ट तो करता है ना, इट एग्जिस्ट, दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कंसिडर्ड एज अनअसर्टेन। तो अनअसर्टेन में जब वो आइडेंटिफाई हो जाता है देन इट बिकम्स असर्टेन। खत्म, बस इतना सा टॉपिक है ये वाला।
हाँ हाँ, तो फिर कंटीजेंट मतलब डिपेंड्स, अनसर्टेन इवेंट पे डिपेंड करती है,
हम्म।
किसी हैपनिंग या नॉन हैपनिंग में। अगर पी ने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करा 50 पीसेस आर्टिकल, तो उनको ने पोर्ट में सेफली ब्रिंग करा, तो ये क्या होगा, मतलब कंटीजेंट गुड में
शिप
कॉन्ट्रैक्ट
आएगा
से।
तो तुम्हें सामान मिल जाएगा। अभी जैसे पूरा ये जो सिनेरियो चल रहा है हमारा वॉर वाला, जो हमें पता है ना, तो किसी ने कुछ ऑर्डर किया और वो शिप तो वहीं पे फंस गया, वो आ ही नहीं रहा इंडिया में। इन दैट केस जब गुड्स का आना डिपेंड करता है किसी कंटिजेंट इवेंट पे, ठीक है, जो शिप आएगा तो गुड्स आ पाएंगे, नहीं आएगा तो नहीं आ पाएंगे। इन दैट केस वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट वहीं कैंसिल हो जाएगा, अगर शिप ही नहीं आया तो गुड्स, द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट विल बी कैंसिल। ठीक है, क्योंकि ये गुड्स अभी बनेंगे, फिर शिप में अपलोड होंगे, फिर वो हमारे पास आएंगे। तो कहने का मतलब इट इज ऑल कंटिजेंट। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल फ्यूचर क्यों है, बिकॉज द गुड्स आर नॉट एग्जिस्टिंग। देन कंटिजेंट क्यों है, बिकॉज शिप पहुंचेगा इंडिया, देन ओनली वी विल रिसीव द गुड्स। सो द एक्विजिशन ऑफ द गुड्स डिपेंड्स ऑन सम condition which may or may not happen. So ship may come, ship may not come. So that is why it is contingent. ठीक है, एक एक
सिंबॉलिक।
एग्जाम्पल, ये एक एक एग्जाम्पल सारा हमने डिस्कस किया है। अभी खाली तुम और मैं ही बात करेंगे, फिर सारे बच्चे वेट कर रहे हैं। तो लेट अस जस्ट एंड दिस सेशन। कोई भी डाउट हो आप बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीज में भेज देना, आई
हाँ
गेट इट
ठीक है,
क्लियर।
आखिरी पूछ लो क्या मैम, सेल और
अच्छा बोलो।
अग्रीमेंट सेल, सेल और अग्रीमेंट सेल डिफरेंस बिटवीन में लास्ट 4 पॉइंट्स में डाउट है।
लास्ट 4 तो पूरा सेशन देखो फिर उस केस में, है ना, एक बार पहले पूरा
रेमेडीज,
सेशन देखो, वहां पे क्लियर समझाया हुआ है। स्टिल इफ यू हैव डाउट जस्ट राइट इट डाउन एंड सेंड इट टू मी, है ना।
वो
बोर्ड ऑफ
देखा
स्टडीज
था,
को यू जस्ट सेंड मी द मेल।
वो देखा था तो
मेल
मैंने
के
मेगा
थ्रू
उनसे।
भिजवाओ अक्षित, अभी अपन इसको लंबा नहीं करा सकते क्योंकि ऑलरेडी टाइम हो गया है।
तो
पल्लवी
कोई एक
आपको
पॉइंट।
कुछ पूछना है तो पूछो, इस चैप्टर से रिलेटेड कुछ पूछना है पल्लवी तो आप अनम्यूट कर लो। हाँ जी,
Good evening, ma'am.
गुड इवनिंग।
Ma'am, what's the main difference between implied condition and implied warranty, ma'am? With one example, please.
आर यू एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंस बिटवीन कंडीशन एंड वारंटी?
Yes, ma'am.
द सेम थिंग इज इम्प्लाइड कंडीशन एंड इम्प्लाइड वारंटी।
Okay, ma'am.
You got it? Implied basically means it is given in the law. It is given in the act. So there are some conditions which are given in the act. Even if you do not discuss it with the other party, these will still remain conditions. So if anything is treated as condition, the buyer has a right to return the goods. He has a right to claim the damages. If it is treated as warranty, it will have the buyer will have the right to claim the damages only. He cannot return the goods. That is the basic concept.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so we are ending this session right now. Maybe if there are any doubts left with respect to this chapter, we can take it up in the next session also, because next session will have complete details with examples, with case studies, and maybe the questions which have been asked in the previous exams also. So all the best to all of you for the time being, and we are meeting tomorrow itself. No, so just read the chapter till here, and then we will discuss all the topics tomorrow. Okay, bye. Wish you all a very happy Sunday. Bye.
Session over, ma'am.
हाँ जी.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye. Bye.